And then it graduated into John Wayne. Now, I want to show you a little clip about the Hollywood that I grew up with and the Hollywood of today.
I gotta talk fast because I'm not used to being this high without my parachute. Besides, this horse is due back on the merry-go-round by 11 o'clock. Now, I'll tell you the truth, there's only one guy in the world I'd do this for, and he just happens to be the nicest guy there is. And I want to bring him out now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Wayne. You sure do sit a horse well. I can't tell you how happy I am to have you on the show.
Well, I can't tell you how glad I am to be here, Dean.
Yep.
And I sure want to thank you for getting me such a good horse.
Well, that ain't no ordinary horse, pal. They don't say that horse was a zebra before the white knight went by, you know.
I'm working on a Western right now with Kirk Douglas, and I sure wish you were with us.
No, I gotta give up Westerns. It's too hard to read the cue cards when I'm galloping along.
Well, don't give me that, Dean. We've made 2 Westerns together, and you never missed a line.
Don't let this get out, pal, but I was writing Mr. Ed, and he never missed a line. That's what Tell me, Duke, of all the pictures you've ever made, what's your favorite?
Well, the one I had taken last week with Marisa, my 8-month-old daughter.
Oh, well, that's nice, pal. You know, I think it's swell. You having all those kids, and especially now having a new little baby. I'm proud of you, Duke.
Well, I'm proud of you, too, Dean. You know, you've got 7. You haven't exactly been sitting around staring at walls, either.
Well, Duke, everybody, you know, seems to love you. And let me ask you something. They all want to know, here you are, one of the biggest stars in the whole world, been making pictures for 37 years, got a spanking new daughter. Now, what do you want for her, Duke?
Well, same as any parent wants, I guess. I'd just like to stick around long enough to see she gets started right. I'd like her to know some of the values that we knew as kids, some of those values that too many people these days are thinking are old-fashioned. Most of all, I want her to be grateful as I am every day of my life to live in these United States. I know it may sound a little corny, but the first thing my daughter's learning from me is the Lord's Prayer and some of the Psalms. And I really don't care if she ever memorizes the Gettysburg Address, just so long as she understands it. And since little girls are seldom called upon to defend their country, she may never have to raise her hand for that oath. But I certainly want her to respect all those who do. I guess that's about what I want for my daughter, Dean.
I'm proud to know you, Duke.
Rhetorical question here. How do you feel when you see that? Yeah, you know, there's an emotion that runs through me, and it's pride. I have a lot of pride for this country. Now it brings me up to today. What emotion do I have now? That's pretty much anger. It is. But it's not the kind of anger that I have when I have an argument with my wife. You know, that kind of anger, you know, you raise your voice, and I'll bet you $500 to a donut you say things that you wish you could take back. No, that's not the kind of anger that I feel today. It's a controlled anger, and it's a sustained anger. And I'll bet you money that you're here for the same reasons. I'll bet you all of you have some sort of anger, or you wouldn't be here. Because you see your country and you see you're losing it. Because when I looked at you tonight when you came in, I looked at a lot of your faces. I didn't see an anger. But I got to believe that there is. And if we control it peacefully, and if we sustain it long enough, we can win this fight. But the minute that the anger leaves you, I tell you what, we have a chance to lose. So the best thing I could tell you is just to stay angry, and we'll win this thing. You know, I'm a lot like all of you, just a regular guy, and I would go to a restaurant with friends of mine, and we'd sit around and we'd talk about the problems that we saw on a daily basis. And I'll tell you this, that we knew what the problems were, but more importantly that, just as lay people, we knew how to solve them. You know, maybe the economical problem. Well, let's start drilling for oil. Let's start turning some of our natural resources to our use. Guess what? That's going to provide jobs. It's going to provide security, all kinds of things. I mean, just simple, common sense things that we could do as a country that we refuse to do. And we get laws passed that we scratch our heads and say, why'd they do that? Common sense does not prevail in Washington, I'm telling you. Or it doesn't to me. And I've thought many times, well, is this God's vision for this country? He blessed it once. Is this what God wants? Well, I don't think so. And I'll give you 3 reasons why I don't think so. You got New Jersey, Virginia, and Scott Brown. That brings us to today. You know, I always got involved a little bit by donating here and donating there. And like I said, go to a restaurant and complain about my country, or the people in Congress anyway, not about my country for sure. And on this stage one morning, our kids, went to a mission field. And it really touched me. So I did a rendition of the Ragged Old Flag by Johnny Cash, and I made a CD of that. And at a political rally one day, I met Judson Phillips. And so I gave it to him, and during that meeting, about that time, Ralph Bristol of one of our local radio shows was doing Call to Arms at Cornerstone Church, and asked me if I would do that since Judson passed that on to him, and so I did. And then Judson was putting together, I think, a Tea Party movement down at Capitol, and he asked me to do it there, and I did. And after that, we went to one of the local restaurants where I met some of the leaders of the Tea Party movement. And I told them, hey, I have an idea for you, so we put a conference call together, and I expressed this idea to them, or I shared this idea with them, that let's call it a chapter from Memphis and Knoxville and across the state, that if they were to solicit their members for like $3 a month, this would give us a year to raise some funds before the primary elections. And that they would use that $3, one for the local elections, one for the state elections, and one for the federal elections. I thought that would give us a lot of money, to make a difference.